Hello, it's me, Queen Sensitivity. Welcome to today's energetic update, as well as a pick card about why are you here. I was guided to do this message tonight. It's night where I am, and it's fairly later than I usually do them, but I took a nap earlier, and I was guided that this is the time now to do this. Before we get started, I would like everybody to take a moment and to repeat after me. I love myself fully, deeply, and completely, and I am grateful for myself in all ways. So mote it be. So it is. I think it's really important that we fill every single crevice of our life with love and acceptance. This does not mean tolerance of things that does not serve us or that do not serve us. This means the acceptance of ourselves, 111, and love of ourselves. Everything that I put into my body recently, I have been very motivated to hit them with love. Every bottle of water, every glass of water, anything that I drink, I'm like, I love you and I thank you. Thank you so much. And these things, water and food, can hear you and they can feel you and they react to you. And I feel like when I put them into my body, they share that gratefulness back with me. I would also like to recommend the frequency 963. I saw a video today of a child singing, hitting that frequency note, and they were saying like that's God's frequency, the frequency of the universe. So I listened to it while I was taking my bath, and I felt better. 222. So I like to talk about ascension symptoms while I shuffle. I'm sure everybody has seen the Schumann resonance. If you haven't, you can check my YouTube community page, and I'll also have a link in the description below. The Schumann resonance has never looked like this, ever. And it made me so happy and so excited to wake up and to see that, because I feel and I know that the reason I am here is to help myself and everybody raise their frequency so we can get out of this kind of enslaved consciousness and to empower ourselves out of the fear matrix. And it was just so nice to like finally get some like proof that everybody could see, because I feel this stuff all the time, and yeah, there are spikes all the time on the Schumann resonance, but it's like this one was like crazy, like never before, off the charts, extraterrestrial, extraordinary. And I was just very grateful, because the other day I was having a conversation with Spirit, and I was like, you need to show me something. Like, I'm so tired. Life has been like kind of boring, if I'm being honest, because I'm like, I feel that we're on the brink of something. And so everything else in contrast to this extraordinary life that I know I'm meant to live is very dull. And I'm just like, show me, show me, show me, show me. And it was so nice. So yeah, I've had like extreme itchiness on like the back of my hand, on my scalp. I've had arthritis in my hands, in my knees, in my ankles, in my feet, in my legs, sometimes in my arms, in my thighs. I've been hydrating a lot, drinking way more water than I usually do. I have also gotten like a lot of shoulder pressure, neck pressure, tingling on the back of my neck and like more specific instructions. Like usually I have a routine, I think we all do, and I've been like called to like do specific things, like don't go here this day, don't do this, do this. I've also been called to like pull back from my job that I have. Is there anything else for this one? Thank you. And it makes me scared because I'm like, if I don't have my job, like where am I gonna get my income? Because nobody's ever donated to me. What was it on my arm? Which is understandable, you know? But like, I don't have like a huge clientele. I don't get that many views on my videos. I'm like, if I don't have my measly job where I am underpaid, like where is my income gonna come from? Because I've also been guided not to job hunt. Like a huge message that keeps being repeated to me over and over and over is like, don't work hard. Do not work hard. Like I've been called to go to different places and like relax, which has been really difficult because it's very hot where I live, and during the day it's hard to like go connect with nature because it's so hot. The other day I was able to go, and it was because I was right next to a body of water, like to a huge pond, and I was also in the shade, and that day it also happened to be super windy. I actually got bit by a bug. I don't know if you can see. So if you go out, make sure you wear some sort of repellent. Okay, I think any messages that come in, I'll just let them come in. But for now, I think we're just gonna go ahead and get started. The bottom of the deck energy is the Great Serving. And I feel like this is what's happening now. The Great Serving. We are all being greatly served. It says Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. We are being hit with huge energies, I think, to say the very least. I feel like even that is an understatement. For me, it's been kind of like a roller coaster. It's been like very like on edge, but at the same time, like knowing not to do anything, but then like I can't help but like look for like, because I have this feeling, like this anticipatory feeling, and so I'm like, what is gonna happen? What is gonna happen? What is gonna happen? I'm just keep looking around, but then I also keep being told, don't do much, don't do much. One of the things that I was told was to do this video. It's very important that I share these messages. So I would really appreciate it if you shared this video or supported it in any way, because it is my mission to share these channel messages from Spirit with you. Light language has been really important, as well as Indigenous people keep popping up. Indigenous people, people of color, Black and brown people is like very prominent. I also want to mention that the day where the Schumann Resonance did like the DNA grid, insane, incredible pattern, was on Father's Day here in the United States. And I took that as a sign of like the divine masculine taking accountability and choosing differently now. I was guided, and I was so grateful to watch this series on Apple called Home. And on the first episode, there was this dad in Sweden, and he has this autistic son. And he was saying how initially he was so disappointed with his son because all his hopes and dreams about, you know, getting to play a sport with his son or getting to do this and go hiking or something with his son, they were blown out of the window because his son is autistic. He doesn't have interest in these things. He's very specific and he's very sensitive to many things. And I believe there was one day when him and the son were in a heated discussion, and the dad really wanted the son to do something, and the son told the dad, I have done so much for you already. Why can't you see my love? Why isn't it enough? And I just feel like that's just hit home for me, because I am a highly sensitive person, as I know that all autistic people are. And I have had like that feeling from my family where they want like me to do stuff and participate in certain ways, and I'm not able to give that. And it just made me feel really upset, because like I am constantly giving so much more than you could ever comprehend all the time. So when I say that I'm at my max and this is a boundary for me, like that, I've climbed such a high mountain. I know for sure the divine feminine has felt extremely unappreciated, especially by the divine masculine. And I feel like today was just like such a huge confirmation. The divine masculine has returned within all of us and is stepping forward in a way again where the behavior and that they choose differently. Because after that, the father was like, I'm gonna let go of any expectations that I previously had for my son, and I'm just gonna accept him as he is and enjoy him as he is. I know for sure that that's been a huge problem where the divine masculine, all of us, you know, divine masculine is within all of us, where we're presented with these challenges and these opportunities to choose differently, and we don't. For example, if he would have just continued to just despise his son and be angry at his son for years, you have these conversations and these arguments and these conflicts, and you just keep on never learning the lesson. This father, it warmed my heart to see him integrate this lesson immediately after that and change his behavior so they can be happy and enjoy each other. And I feel like this is the message, that softening to love. You are faced with a challenge. It's an opportunity to change and make improvements. We haven't been making improvements. We're going around in circles. So I also feel like this represents the end of like that karmic cycle, those karmic patterns that we'll no more. It's done. Okay? What else? I think that's all for now. Get some water. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick a pile. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Take your time. Okay, let's get into it. Pile number 1, why are you here? I know today that you aren't able to see the cards, but I was guided not to do that today. I was guided to just have my face be shown. I do feel a bit of frustration from this pile. Like a sense of injustice. Yeah. Injustice. That's what I'm feeling. So with you for pile number 1, I almost said pile number 2, so maybe pile number 2 is important. This is lifeblood. It's this feeling here like somebody stole something from you. So I feel like one of the reasons that why you are here, I'm hearing soul retrieval, is to retrieve different parts of yourself that were taken, and some you may have given away. but I do feel this emphasis on taken, which, you know, is in the sense the same thing as like you allowed it to happen. So I feel like there might be something that you were tasked with in this lifetime was to like take responsibility for the part that you played in other people taking advantage of you, 111, taking responsibility, taking accountability for the role that you played in being a victim, and also the parts that you play in being a victimizer. I feel like this might have been a really tough lesson because yes, people can be shitty and they do wrong things to us. 133. I keep seeing a lot of doubles. Maybe seeing a lot of doubles. Maybe you're a twin, or you have twins, or some sort of connection with a twin, maybe a twin flame. I do feel like some sort of biological, like bloodline related, especially with this. So I don't know, you might have been betrayed by somebody close to you, but it is this feeling of like somebody took something from you, or they claimed your work as their own, and you are here to heal that. And in case you didn't know, as we heal these things about ourselves, we heal these things in the field for everybody. So thank you for that. It's this feeling of like this kind of like white angel, like this reaper, but of life, like a coming back to take life. You know how the Grim Reaper like comes and takes people into death? It's like this feeling of you come and you take back your life. It's a lot of empowerment for you, which is very beautiful. I also think in terms of beauty, like reclaiming your beauty, making sure to tell yourself that you're beautiful as you are. There might be something where society kind of rejected your body or yourself as having a beauty standard. You have North Star, so yeah, you are a leader. You lead the way. I think that you really inspire a lot of people. I'm getting Lizzo, but I was getting somebody else earlier. Hopefully I can remember. But it's this feeling of like you, through your struggle and things that you've gone through, you are here to lead other people. And I feel like you also had to lead yourself. I've done this many times in my life where I've had like moments where I felt like my ancient self come in to tell my 3D self like, hey, I know you're in like your little pouty mood, but this is what we're not gonna do. Like, we're not gonna do this thing where we just sit here and kind of like cry. Crying's good, release, but we're not gonna sit here and like soak in being sorry for ourselves. We change our perspective, and you kind of lead yourself forward. Why is this light on here? This not even facing this way. Lead yourself forward, and then I think just by default, you've also led others. I do think you might have some sort of deep connection with aurora lights, which are normally in Alaska, I think maybe Canada too. And I know there are a lot of indigenous people from those areas, so you might also carry DNA ancestral curses, or like, you know, I guess curses in your DNA from all the people, indigenous people in those areas that have been stolen from. So if you ever like felt when you were younger kind of weighed down and like heavier than other children your age, that's because you were carrying so many codes, DNA and blueprint of your people, of our people, of your people, that have been betrayed, that have been stolen from, and you are all about retrieval. You might also be fairly possessive about your material things. Like if you wonder like, why do I care so much about my clothes, or like, I don't know, my shoes, or if people touch my things, it's because you have all those traumas of being stolen from. So yeah, that's okay. It's natural. Yeah, and then also, this is like a high priestess. You might get the high priestess card a lot. They have this third eye pendant here. What is this on my arm? And I feel like that represents deep connections with the spiritual realm. Obviously, I believe you have that if you're watching this video, but also being able to see the future and the past fairly clearly, I feel, with fairly good ease. You might also be really good at, like, when you go into spaces, like old restaurants, old buildings, you may be able to easily pick up on like what happened there. So you might have to be really selective about when you have traveled in your life, because you are able to feel like any trauma, which has happened in most parts of the world that have happened in these areas. Next, you have Arcanafaria. I feel like this particular card is all about revenge. So I feel like one of the reasons why you are here is for justice. And I do think that in some parts of your life that this justice has turned into revenge, seeking vengeance. That's okay, you know. Please forgive yourself for these things, because it's only natural. It's very easy to get caught up when, like, it's a difference between like being extremely confident and being cocky. Like, it's a thin line, and it's the same here. It's a thin line to walk between seeking justice, because that's all you're about, with the 11, the number 2 as well, the justice card, and seeking vengeance, seeking revenge. You might be really good at revenge, might be very good at being petty. And I feel like this is also a part of the reason why you're here, is to balance out that part of yourself and to align that part of yourself in a way that is beneficial rather than like malicious or demolishing. So the first card you have for the Starseeds is You Got the Love, Hardarian Energy, Codependency, and Boundaries. I feel that because you have these fears from your bloodline of things being taken from you and you being betrayed, you might have had a very tough time trusting people in your relationships. And so I feel like you might have had like really big walls, but not very good boundaries. And that's, again, like I'm saying, that balance. It's a thin line between having like boundaries and walls. And I feel like relationships for you might have ended for people saying you don't let them in or you don't trust them. And you might have been like, I'm glad they gone because they might have betrayed me. But then later on you might look back and like, maybe, you know, that was just pain. You might also wonder where the hell all this pain came from. Like, I remember when I was younger, my favorite movie, kind of still is, but definitely was when I was younger, was Diary of a Mad Black Woman by Tyler Perry. And I used to be so angry at Charles, the man in that movie who betrayed her. I used to be so angry and love. I memorized all the fighting lines. And I'm like 9, like feeling this way. I always was so angry, especially at men. And now I know it's because of what was typical in my past lives and also in my bloodline was a lot of betrayal, specifically by men, specifically by masculine people who did not show up and who weren't authentic and didn't present as they actually were. A lot of like jokester, trickster type of energy. And so I was naturally very defensive. And it's like all these different people represented in you. But I feel like the thing that they want me to emphasize here is the card, what it actually says is we got the love. They want you to remember that, you know, yeah, you got passed down all these things, but the gist of it and the reason why it was you who had all these ancestral wounds is because you are the one who is able to remember the love. You are the one who is able to overcome all of these obstacles and able to heal and forgive and realignment back into the reason for all of this, which is love. This might be a struggle, might be very difficult to trust people as well as even yourself, you know, having to let your heart run free but making sure you have your boundaries in place. You have to trust they will naturally be in place after you've learned your lessons, which you have surely learned, because I'm feeling that you're very intelligent. Remember the point. Remember why we gave this to you. Remember why we chose you. Why you, out of everybody in your family, it's you. Because you are able to remember the love. You are able to acclimate it. You are able to transmute it all back into love. Please do not forget the love, is the message. That's why you're here. You might also have, like I said, Hardarians. Okay. You also have big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. This is the card that I have been getting many times. I think recently, like last 2 weeks, this card keeps coming out for me, and it's because the Palladians were trying to contact me. So I do believe that if you're watching this, you are most likely a Palladian Starseed, or at least have a lot of connection with them. And I'm hearing and being told that Palladians, they don't contact just anybody, and it's not because they don't see everybody as equals. It's because only certain people will even acknowledge them or be open to such a high frequency. I know that a lot of people are okay with settling, with being asleep, with being kind of zombified, and not seeking the truth by seeking more, seeking better. My whole life, I think you and I have a lot in common. I've always felt like there was more. I've had a fairly good life, I would say, compared to a lot of people who I know have faced terrible impoverishment. But even with all the blessings that I have, I always felt like there was more. And I know that what I was seeking was these deeper connections, these deeper conversations about the truth. What the hell is really going on? That's how I felt 1331. I felt like that my whole life. I was always waiting. That's why I really love books, because books explored into people's minds, and people don't usually speak the way that they feel. They don't speak what they know. And so it's only people like that who the Palladians are even able to talk to, because it's people like that who are even open to those conversations. And it's because of that you also have a responsibility to you have a responsibility of those messages, whatever they are, with this huge portal here. And it looks like these blue beings on the side waiting for you to come over, and waiting for you to realize the mirage of even the separation. I feel like a lot of this is taught, is that you have to take these classes, these Reiki classes, or know these terms like Palladians or Kundalini or whatever, these vocabulary words, in order to have these conversations and this connection to your soul family. And you don't even need language at all in order to have these conversations and these connections with your soul family. And I feel that one of the reasons why you are here is to remind people of the ease and simplicity of connecting with high frequency selves, because these are just yourself. Your soul family is just you in different people, you know what I mean? Like in different beings. Spirit is just you in your highest form, right? And I feel like that's one of the reasons why you're here. If you have some sort of career where you kind of simplify things and remind people of the truth, the ease of it all, the naturalness of it all. And I feel like you might have even have to remind yourself sometimes, like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's not that complex. I had studied African American studies, and one of the classes that I took was human anthropology. Is it called? Something cultural anthropology. And we were reading, and my professor was basically explaining to us how in westernized texts, they intentionally made like all the biology books and the science, those official textbooks, they intentionally made the language complex and kind of difficult in order to kind of bar people who weren't familiar with English or the specific way that they worded the words from reading it. So for example, indigenous people, like they intentionally confuse themselves to confuse their enemies or outside foreigner alien people, you know what I mean? And you are here to remind people of that intention of complexity, to show them, because it's just an illusion. It's actually not this complex. It's just a illusion that they have, I don't know, passed off to you. Like, here, complete this maze. And the whole maze and test is just a distraction from the truth that the language is mute and it's actually all very simple. So, pile number 1, this has been your reading. Please feel free to donate as an equal energy exchange. The link was in my description. Please feel free to comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Please feel free to share. And I send you off with enormous blessings, enormous activations to remember who you are. And I really hope these messages resonated. All right, bye. Hello, pile number 2. Nice to meet you. If this is your first time here with me, I'm picking up on like the turtle animal, the turtle totem. I feel like the turtle is encouraging you to get out of your shell, because they want to remind you that you inherently have a shell. You are inherently automatically protected, and so you don't need to worry so much or too much about people harming you or you not taking a safe route, because you are the safety. You have shelter on your back. And I'm hearing that turtles are able to move more effectively and efficiently by not rushing. They have really good instincts of when to be in their shell, when to move, how fast to move, and they also have a natural kind of camouflage to their environments. And so I feel like Spirit is reminding you of all these natural things, inherent things, inalienable things that you already have with you. You don't need to put on extra armor. You don't need to learn or practice these extra things. I feel that you naturally already have really good instincts, and you don't need to doubt yourself and worry so much about whether or not you are equipped to handle this or that. Maybe, I don't know, some sort of opportunity has come up for you to be in a leadership position, or just maybe something else in general in your life. But Spirit is reminding you that you don't need to be extra prepared. Like, for example, if you're taking a test about, I don't know, Spanish, and you come from a home where your parents spoke Spanish at the home, you don't need to study as hard as other students who don't come from Spanish-speaking parents. You see what I mean? You inherently already have a bonus, a natural push ahead. So if you're worried about, I don't know, undertaking some new project that you don't have a degree in, or you don't have research in, or you don't have experience in, Spirit is saying that you don't need to worry about whether or not you have like 30 hours of experience, or if you met this person, or if you did this or that. Spirit is saying you already have. It's already encoded into you naturally. You don't need to you can do it yourself, and you can be a self-taught master of this art because you already have a natural inclination, a natural knowledge of whatever it is that you're doing. So I feel like whatever this is I'm being called to take this one, is the reason why you are here. The air is getting on my nerves because I literally just went to like make it go off and it's still on. And when it's on, when I'm talking a lot, it hurts my throat. It makes it hard to talk. So I feel like that might be something. I'm saying this one. Irritation. So I feel like when me having to go do all this stuff, it's a real need for you to really take care of yourself at this time. If you've been feeling hesitant about taking extra precautions, I don't know, getting extra, I don't know, teas, just in case on those nights when you forget, getting extra towels or something like that for yourself, do so. Because this is feeling of like, this is probably why you're having some sort of triggering around not trusting your turtle shell, because something in your environment may be taxing you. The bottom of the deck is this Page of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like the Page of Pentacles kind of is new, but they kind of know what they're doing. Kind of reminds me of Toph from the Avatar show. She was from the Earth Nation, right? And she was naturally really good with Earth, but she still needed to like tweak it a bit. And I feel like with this being in reverse, there is a need for you to remember who you are, some sort of natural gift that you have. I feel like you already are aware of it, what it is. You need to acknowledge it and trust that you have it, is the message. Because the other card that I was called get is the Queen of Pentacles. So it's like, here you have this rookie who is born into the Earth Nation in reverse, kind of doubting themselves. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles, which is the strength that you naturally have, the talent that you naturally have, that you're destined to share. And this is the reason why you are here. I feel that you have this natural ability to help other people ground their energy and also to direct other people, specifically by just leading by example. If you've been like wondering what like career or specific thing to do, I feel like it has something to do with the home. I keep getting interior design, but if not, this is something to do with helping people feel grounded. One of the ways to do that is by designing a home perfect for them, and like that's their base where they can go from. You ground people by working in their home. But other examples could be like doing people's hair, people's makeup, grooming. I'm getting arthritis in my wrist. I don't know, it's hurting really bad. Ugh. I don't know if it like something just hit the planet. So definitely something with your hands, where you help people like improve upon their lives. That is what you are meant to do. If you're doing anything like that where you're, I don't know, it could even be like landscaping, something with people where you're helping them see the highest potential and achieve the highest potential of living. There's a show on Max, which was previously called HBO Max, and it's called Problem Spaces. It's with this beautiful woman who people invite her into their homes and they show her, I don't know what to do with this area. Like, I don't know, the angle's weird and I need this to work as a washroom. Like, I need this to be where I do my laundry, but it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that. And they couldn't solve it for anything. And she comes in and she fixes it. And this is what you're meant to do. So if you've been called to do something like this, to leave some sort of job and to branch, and she is self-trained. Nobody taught her how to do these things. Like, she didn't go to college is what I mean, but to do these things. She learned through experience. She learned on the job of doing it. And this is what Spirit wants you to know. You learned doing it. And don't doubt yourself so much. And I'm also hearing the person that's doubting yourself the most is you, not so much other people. You also have the Sun, which I was called to get. Both this card and the Queen of Pentacles were bottom of the deck cards that I just felt the need to pluck out. You have such a radiant energy, and what I feel is special about your energy is that it's lasting. It's a long, so you know how you can put energy into objects, like to curse them or something like that, and it just stays like that until like somebody like comes along and intentionally takes it out. You put such positive high vibration into things. I feel like you really you don't know this, or you really underestimate it, that it stays. If you hug somebody, your frequency, your high frequency is shared with that person. Look how this person is connected to the Sun. It's linked. 1044. It stays with them for, I'm hearing, for months potentially, that you switch. I feel like you really just give so much to people. So you might need to do a lot of grounding. I don't feel like this deplenishes you too much, especially if your purpose is to, your purpose or why you're here is to like interact with people. I feel like you might have a natural ease with grounding yourself so you don't feel so depleted. But I did want to note that you might want to like take extra precautions to protect your energy and make sure you're not depleted, because you naturally give off so much. So when you're coming to people's houses to help them, or when you're doing their hair or their makeup or doing their landscaping or whatever it is you do, that you leave that behind. And when they live in that house, when they go out with that makeup on, like it radiates off them. You are very good at transferring, channeling. You might have like a lot of connection with like the earth, obviously, but also with just things that have roots, because roots spread. I know like Chip and Joanna Gaines from Fixer Upper, at all their houses they used to or still do they plant magnolia trees. And it's like they leave and they go off to the next project, but that tree stays there with that family and continues to grow. The roots spread and get deeper. That's what you leave, something huge behind. And I just want to go ahead and say thank you so much for choosing to be who you are, and for giving so freely and graciously. I really appreciate it, because I can feel what you've done already. And because I'm so sensitive, I can feel the whole planet's energy. It makes me happy to know that, because I'm like the earth, it makes me happy to know that you are out there spreading good, deep, true roots to the earth. There's a song called True Blue, and it's by Boy Genius. And the music video was directed by Kristen Stewart, if that means anything to you. She's from Twilight and so many other things. She's just iconic. And I love the song. It's like, your love is tough, your love is tried and true blue. So it's like, it's tried and true. I feel like you're a very loyal person. Like, you're just very, very loyal. I feel like you might have had like a lot of tests in some sort of like relationship, or I don't know, and you just stuck to it. There's something about you, you just stay. And I feel like whereas a lot of people, like when they stay or when they give, it really like hurts them. But for you, I don't think it boggles you as much as it does other people to be loyal in such a way, because this is what you're meant to do. You have this natural power and capability to do this. If anything comes on later about like, I don't know, advice or not to do this, I'll let you know. But right now I feel like this is, you've done a good job already by what you've done. Flowers and plants might be really attracted to you. Bees, dragonflies. Finally, you have the King of Pentacles. So let's look at your cards, right? You have the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Sun, you have the King of Pentacles. So yes, there is some sort of divine counterpart here. And if you are with them or still with them, I just heard, you might have a sun in the middle. 5:15:11 was on the clock. A sun between the two of you. And your person might not understand like why you keep being around for them. And it's because you have this ability to really, you stay, but you also move past. Like I keep saying, like roots, you stay in the same spot. And let's say, I don't know, lightning struck, like they hurt you on one part of your roots, but you have the ability, you just grow around it. You don't give up growing in that area altogether. And that is a gift. And I feel like this person is really grateful for that from you. So one of the reasons why you're here is to have that divine connection with this person and to show them what is possible and to show them that stability. Because once you show somebody a miracle like that, when you show people miracles, like imagine if you show a child like, I had a dream and it came true, versus what we all get told a lot is I had a dream and it never came true. If you show a child, I had a dream and look, it came true, they will become infinite in their creativity and self-belief, and they will go off and plant so many seeds. So that is what you have done for your divine counterpart at whatever state your relationship is in. They are very grateful, and you have changed them and continue to change them and inspire them significantly. I'm hearing thank you. And again, this thank you is also from me, genuinely. I don't care if I don't know you. Thank you, because I can feel you. Thank you for your service. It's also, there's this library back here. You have a wealth of knowledge. I know for a fact the turtle is a symbol of wisdom. And this is what I was saying, you inherently have so much that you already know. One of the reasons why you are here is to be that kind of library. I'm also hearing to tell you the quote, turtles all the way down. It's also the name of a book by John Green. And it's basically like, what is the earth sitting on top of? And it's like a turtle. And what's underneath that turtle? Another turtle. And what's underneath that turtle? Another turtle. And that's how you get to the point. It's just turtles all the way down. All the way down is you. You're so rooted, you're so grounded, and you're so supportive. And you naturally have this capability to the point where once you're in like really good balanced place and you're just naturally flowing as you are, you don't need to worry so much about keeping your boundaries good and keeping yourself safe, because you naturally have that shell. If that turtle is meant to be that turtle all the way down, they naturally have that ability to be that turtle all the way down. And that's their healthiest state. You know what I mean? Like they already come with that. Your Starseed cards. I'm hearing your Starseed Oracle Origin cards. You have cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. With this, I feel like your message is to surrender to yourself. Surrender to that force in yourself that knows what the hell you are doing. You know what you are doing. Surrender to that. Surrender to that and trust them. Portal. Doors are opening. You decide rewards and wild card. So there's some sort of opportunity you have, regardless of whether or not somebody has come to you and told you, come do this and work for us. The opportunity right now, if you feel this calling to quit whatever you're doing and to chase this dream of, I don't know, one of the careers or whatever I just said, do it. Do it, do it, do it. Even if it's in your way where you start now, you're part-time at your job and you spend the rest of your time giving to this, do it is the message for you. Walk through the damn portal. I'm aching. I have arthritis now in my shoulder. New Earth, it's happening. Keep holding the vision. You, my dear, are a huge part of the ascension that we are having. And I'm hearing that we really need you to be at your highest state of being, to be doing what you naturally want to do and are inclined to do. As you do that, you raise your frequency, and your frequency radiates out to all of us. Please do that. Thank you very much. You have 3 cards, each 3, 3, 6, 6, or 6, 6, 6, 6, 3, 3, 3. Yeah, keep dreaming. You know exactly what you want to do. Keep believing in yourself and keep projecting out that vision and that dream that you see for yourself. Show that little inner child inside of you, I have a dream, and look, this dream comes true. Show them. Keep showing them. It doesn't matter if you look crazy. This has been your message. Pile number 2 as I spit. Please feel free to donate as a sign of reciprocity. The link is in the description. I am doing personal readings if you are interested in getting more details about what this is, if you're still not sure, but I feel like you fairly are. But you can email me or DM me on Instagram. If you would like that, please leave a comment to tell me if this resonates or not. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. The reason I'm laughing is because I keep hearing like, I'm so excited to get to you. I'm so excited to get to you. I'm so excited to get to you. I'm getting the vibes of Love Don't Cost a Thing with Christina Milian and Nick Cannon, and how all the boys and some of the girls at the school they all wanted to be close to Christina Milian, and Nick Cannon, like, he used to clean her pool and like fantasize about getting the chance to be near to her, just near, like not even like have anything from her, just in proximity to her. And when he made the deal with her, his deal was literally just for her to pretend to be his, that she didn't have to kiss him, she didn't have to hold his hand, you know, like he just asked her, just be around me. That is the feeling. When I was getting which deck should I use for you, you got the Energy Oracle deck, and they were just like, pick me. I can't wait. I can't wait. Like, usually I shuffle the cards a little bit in advance, and then I shuffle them while I'm on camera to get the cards for you. And I was like, if I get these cards and I shuffle off camera, the cards are going to be so excited that they're going to want to pop out off camera. So I had to wait and set them here to the side, like so. There is something about you that is just so magnetic and so bright. You think, I just saw 1 through 3. Think of Christina Milian. She sang the song for the intro of Kim Possible. Like, so many years she was right there, like luring me into Kim Possible. I used to love Kim Possible. I still do. I used to watch it in high school. Like, I used to come home and watch Kim Possible and like, call me, page me, it's okay. Whenever you need me, baby, call me, beat me. It's this feeling of like, call me, luring somebody in, like somebody, if not, you know, everybody in general is just really happy to see you, pile number 3. They're just so happy to see you. I just saw 211. I feel so relieved. The reason that you are here, you are literally an earth angel. 222. I don't care if you have sinned or you have bad character traits, you're judgmental, whatever. You're not perfect. Great. You are an earth angel, and I feel that people are just so happy to see you. I do feel like there might be like jealousy or some people envious or whatever, but I feel like right now, because you've done so much clearing of yourself, you're just glowing so bright. And I just feel like somebody in particular with these lemons is just like I just can't wait to be near you. They're just like so like enamored by you. Ooh, look at that. I opened it right on a blossoming abundance. Spirit is saying to keep it in. Keep it in the deck. I think the first thing we're gonna do is ask, who is this? First and foremost. Ooh. I feel like whoever this is might be playing like kind of hide and seek. Like they know what the truth is. They know they want to come to you, but they also are kind of like dipping their toes in. They're so excited. So like anticipating. This is more cards than I've gotten for any of the decks. The 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel, throat chakra. Somebody really wants to talk to you. And I do feel like this could be multiple people. There is one particular person that seems to be coming through very strongly. I saw the number 23. But I did pick up somebody else. You might have multiple suitors, multiple people who want to talk to you. But I also feel like this is platonic. Somebody just loves you. I feel like people just love you. If you're in a time when things have been very quiet around you, I feel like it's kind of like a facade. If I go back to Christina Milian, like when she's at home and she's not at these parties and stuff and she's just with her mom, like she's just on her own, you know what I mean? Like she was just in her own zone. You'd never be able to tell, like from looking at her, that she spends all this time like in her room writing songs. And I feel I'm hearing like the most precious, prized fruit, not to objectify you, is the one that's like hidden in a garden almost. It's like, I don't know, like the Black Friday sales and everybody like rushes in and they pick out all the things on the surface, and like there's this hidden gem, and like nobody but the most patient person will find it. We have envy here. This one wanted to come out. Door to Romance was on the bottom. So Door to Romance is very much open for you. But I do feel like there is some sort of envy. I don't feel like it's malicious. I just feel like somebody is like really into you so much that they envy like the rain, the sunshine, it gets to shine on your face. They wish so badly that they could be a part of every aspect of your life. But there's also this feeling of like not being worthy, kind of like Nick Cannon in that movie. Like if he would have just come to her and asked her to be with him, to go on a date with him, she might have said yes, but he had to use like this distance, you know, in order to create this persona, I don't know, that he thought he needed. Like, I was watching Easy A, and like, she told the guy, she was like, if you would have just come up to me and asked me genuinely to go out with you, I might have said yes, but instead you use this ploy. So there might be some history with this person. They use some sort of ploy to like big up their image, their facade. But I do feel like now this person is so in love with you. I keep avoiding looking at the camera. They just don't even care anymore. I feel it's kind of consuming, and I feel they spend most, if not all, of their day thinking about how you are like strawberries and just such a dream. Who is this person? We have woman holding a coin. So I feel like this is somebody who is holding on to some sort of piece of information or something that is blocking them from you. This could be some sort of job or opportunity, and they're holding on to that. And that same, if they would just let it go, then they could easily come towards you. Yeah, attachment. This person, whoever it is attached to something that is dead. I feel like it's just time to let it go. They know it's dead. This could be another relationship. Like I said, it could be a job or some sort of commitment that they've told themselves, 844, that they have to hold on to. It's kind of like, to go back to the Love Don't Cost a Thing movie, where like the whole time, like Nick Cannon, like the reason that he was saving that money was for him to have that car done so he could go to college. And what he really wanted was to have a real high school experience. He wanted to be able to experience people and to experience talking and being with the girl of his dreams. And he was holding on to that. And I just feel like you just have to let it go. Even in the end, when he was like holding on to his image and his popularity, if he would have just let that go, it was already dead. If people only love you because you adapt some sort of addition to you, like they love you for your car, they love you for your clothes, those people, it's dead. It's not alive. That's something that's plastic. It's not breathing. It won't grow. It's dead. And I feel like whoever this person is, they're holding on to something that's dead. I just heard out of punishment for themselves. I just feel like it's time to let it go. I don't want to hold on too much to that. The last card representing who are they, Door to Spirit. I do feel like this person might have some sort of epiphany or some sort of awakening, or spirit might free them from this. I just saw 1022, like for example, if it's a relationship that's keeping them from being with you, approaching you, spirit might like make the other person move away, or like have that person say, you know what, I'm not feeling this. For example, in The Wedding Planner with Jennifer Lopez and Matthew McConaughey, and he was like engaged to the other woman, so he couldn't like pursue Jennifer Lopez. And at the wedding, she ended up saying to him like, I don't want to do this, and that freed him. And then he was free to chase Jennifer Lopez and like go after her. So it might be something like the other person is just like, you know what, I'm not feeling this, in a very gentle way. I feel, you know, I don't think we're meant to do this right now at this time. I don't think it's best. I think it would be best if we just, when I said a raise, like I love you, but I just think it would be best if we just parted like that. And now, because I feel like this person, if they would have just, they've been kind of a coward. And so I feel like Spirit is kind of like giving them a bailout, since they never would have done it on their own. I keep seeing 33. If you see 33 a lot, this is a message for you. Yeah, and then also the door to romance is 33. Yeah. And it's the same thing where I feel like even with Noah, if we're going to the Notebook now, a lot of romantic movies, romance movies for you. Like he was always thinking of Allie, and he wanted to have her back, but he just never like really pursued her, you know, even after he wrote those letters. And then like boom, like he gets this money from the guy that he used to work for, and his dad, without his consent, took out a loan on his house to give him the extra money. He was like, go build the house. You don't have an excuse now. You know, you got that money from that guy. I'm giving you extra money. I already got the permit. Go do it. Like that force out the door is what Spirit has done. And it's 33 for this person. Yeah. And then 3 plus 2 is 5. And then this is 5. Okay, so on you. Why are you here? Woof. You have patience. So I feel like you're here for extraordinary things. If this burst of energy that hit me in the face was an example, and again, you have this angel kind of symbolism going for you. But I feel like what you're truly like here for, you already do it, but there is something that's tumbling in place for you that is going to explode and change any and everything that it touches. And Spirit is saying to be patient. And I'm hearing like there's nothing to worry about. 1331, like you won't be late, you won't miss anything, you don't have to suffer. You're not gonna miss it. It's not gonna miss you. You don't have to like work extra hard or do these things or worry about not having enough money or whatever the fuck. Like something is happening, and it's a matter of tumbling it into place. Next, you have the thinking woman and adjacent possibilities. You are here to be exactly who you are. The way that you think is very innovative. The way that you are is very innovative. The ideas that you have, the concepts that you have about humans and how we should be living, or how you choose to live rather. People need that. I do feel with this adjacent possibilities that you open up people's minds and you ask them to explore more. You show them a new path. You show them a deeper way. I'm seeing now the show, the OA, how the OA, she came along, and that show is called Original Angel. You're an angel. She came along and she opened up all these people's minds, and she showed them new ways of being. You have a lot of star wisdom from your origins, and you just have this natural gravitational pull to a certain way that you want to live your life. And that's coming from your roots and your home planet. And you are meant to ground and embody that way of being here. A new earther, showing a new way, innovation. The number 24 might be important to you as it is to me. 24, 47, July 4th or April 7th. You have empathic starseed. What did I say? This is you. Energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. The reason that you are here once again is to be you. Like, to be you. I know that's not a job or whatever the hell people say. You are meant to be you. I feel like you've never been able to be like other people anyways, but in case you doubt yourself, being you is so important. It is literally what you are here for. I'm here like how I am, like I just can't help but create and share these messages. I cannot help but doing this, being the way that I am. That is what I'm meant to do. That is what you're meant to do. Make sure that you are not absorbing and repeating, what other people are doing or believing what other people say you should be believing in. Like, you're meant to have your own thoughts and create your own vision, how you see it, and do that. Oh, you got 3 cards. I didn't even notice. All paths lead home is next. This one was in reverse, so I feel like that's a double message of like, You are meant to ground your home here. You're meant to bring new earth, ascended earth, blessed Gaia here. You have those codes, blueprints embedded into your DNA. I'm hearing that DNA is also activating right now. And so I'm hearing like wherever you go, like this person walking, wherever you travel, you are implanting that new way of being, new way of life, new way, higher consciousness into the planet. You have a deep connection with Earth, Mother Earth, Gaia, and the stars. You are that conduit in between. You are heaven walking on earth. You are the perfect, to say perfect, like, I don't know, like if God like had to come here and like spread out heaven, holiness, like that's you. You know what I mean? Kind of like how they say like Jesus was supposed to be like, Jesus is like man and God, like that's you. That's what we all are, you know. I'm not trying to like make you put anybody down, but this is what I'm getting for you. And everywhere you walk, you are implanting these codes into the planet, and people might react to you as such. You might get very, like I said, like surprised reactions. People react to you, they recognize you, they see you, and I feel that they know who you are. Like they know who you are. They might not consciously be aware of it, but they know. They're reacting to you in that way. They know you are here to bless them and share with them and remind them of who they are, and also teach them to like learn like new things. You know how people like go off to like restaurants and they're like, okay, this is what we're gonna do and this is gonna be a better program. And the reason that it's not like harmful is because you are the people in the restaurant that you meet. That's why it's so important that you're an empath, because if you didn't have that connection to everybody, it would be like colonizers where they go and they're like, oh, we know better than you. But because you are those people where you're visiting, you know, you feel them and what they need because you are them, you're able to guide in a much gentler way, but also a very provocative way. Surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Yeah. I'm hearing Spirit say when you are, you're meant to be pampered. If you've had like a pampered life, it's fairly easy, like where things come to you easily or people just give you things. The more you are pampered and like relaxing and having fun and ease, living in ease, the better. Like the bigger your frequency you're able to spread. I'm hearing like anybody who makes love to you and is able to have you orgasm in that way is like doing a great service to the world, because giving you that pleasure, the heightened sense of joy. Like I'm hearing like whoever it is that's meant to love you, perhaps this person might also, I don't know, have something like a blue aura. Ooh, underneath that is the caring connection and the yin yang, who they just keep being together all the time. This person, I'm hearing like Spirit will bless that person to make sure, this could be a twin flame divine counterpart, to make sure that they're near you, because the more that you are having those heightened senses of ecstasy, the easier and the bigger, the more powerful your impact is for activated, upgrading the earth. So if, I don't know, if you aren't already in sexual union with this person, I'm hearing this is like a integral part of ascension. It's very important. I just feel like it does something magnificent. Like, you know how we can just feel when something has happened, like, oh, something good just happened right now. It's when you are having ecstasy, when you are relaxed and you are enjoying yourself. Like, it's the most needed thing in the world. Like, prioritize your pleasure. You might already feel, you might be a Leo, Scorpio, people who like love luxury. Might already be leaning towards that, wanting to like get yourself nicer things. The more that you lean into that and enjoy yourself and are in pleasure, because there's this connection to Venus for you, the more powerful you are and the bigger impact that you're able to have with much more ease. It's very important for you. Wow. Whew. I wanted to keep going like forever. It's like this feeling of like wanting you more and more. Whoever this person is, I feel like they might have like this tendency to become kind of addicted to you. You're like nectar, and they're like a hummingbird. There's a hummingbird song by James Blake, but also getting that scene from Twilight where it's like, you are my personal brand of heroin. Like you drive and you individually single this person out and attract them to you, and it's because you are supposed to have that sexual physical union, because that then translates and activates huge tremendous codes of light, like so big. I feel it like a sun spreading out. Like I just feel like anybody in the surrounding area is gonna be feeling you have this orgasm, you having this ecstasy, this bliss, this euphoria. Like it's whoa. Okay, so this has been your reading number 3. Thank you so much for being here with me. Please feel free to donate. The donation link is below. I really appreciate it as an energetic exchange. And I also am doing personal readings. You can DM me on Instagram or email me for details on that. Thank you so much. Please leave a comment, and I will see you next time. Thank you for getting me so high. Bye.